I'm not your backup plan anymore!
I walked through the front door after another brutal 12-hour shift at the auto shop, wiping engine oil off my hands with a rag. My back hurt, my boots were stained black, and all I wanted was something cold to drink and maybe 20 minutes of silence. Instead, I found my wife, standing in the kitchen with her arms folded across her chest, wearing that expression I'd come to recognize over the past few weeks. The one that meant she'd been rehearsing something and was finally ready to say it. "We need to talk," she said. I grabbed a bottle of water from the refrigerator. "All right, talk." She shifted her weight, unfolded her arms, then folded them again. "I've been thinking a lot lately. About us, about where we are." She paused. "I'm only 26. We got married when I was 23. That's really young. I feel like I never got to experience anything. Never got to figure out who I am without being somebody's wife." I leaned against the counter and took a long drink, waiting for whatever was coming next. "I think I'm too young to be tied down like this," she continued. "I need space. I need to explore my options, see what else is out there, figure out what I actually want." There it was. The bomb she'd been carrying around dropped right there in our kitchen like she was asking me to pick up groceries. I didn't yell or argue. Honestly, I'd seen this coming for weeks. The late nights with friends, the way she'd pull away when I tried holding her hand, the constant scrolling through social media, comparing our life to everyone else's highlight reel. "Explore all you want," I said. She blinked. "What?" "I said explore all you want. If that's what you need, go ahead." Her mouth opened, then closed. She wasn't expecting that response. She probably thought I'd fight, beg, promise to change, do whatever people do when their partner says they're not enough anymore. "You're not going to try to stop me?" she asked. I picked up my water bottle again. "Stop you from being honest about how you feel?" "No, but we're married. We took vows." "Yeah, we did. And right now you're telling me those vows don't mean anything to you anymore, that I'm somehow holding you back from living your life, so go live it." She looked confused, almost angry. "You don't even care." "I care that you just told me I'm not what you want. I care that after 3 years of marriage, you'd rather be somewhere else with someone else. But I'm not going to beg you to stay. I don't chase people who don't want me." I walked past her toward our bedroom. She followed, asking where I was going. I pulled out the duffel bag from the top shelf of our closet and tossed it on the bed. Then I opened my nightstand drawer and took out the manila envelope I'd prepared 2 weeks earlier. Divorce papers. I'd had them drawn up after the third time she came home at 2 in the morning, claiming she'd lost track of time. I set the envelope on the bed next to the bag. "What is that?" she asked. "Divorce papers." I figured this conversation was coming, so I saved us both some time. Her face went pale. "You already filed for divorce?" "Not yet, but they're ready. All you have to do is sign." "You're serious right now?" "Completely. You want to explore your options? Fine. But you're going to do it as a single woman, not as my wife." She grabbed the envelope and opened it, scanning the first page. Her hands shook. "This is insane. People don't just give up like this." "I'm not giving up. I'm accepting what you already decided. You want out? The door's right there. But don't expect me to sit around waiting while you go figure yourself out." "So, that's it? 3 years and you're just done?" I zipped up the empty bag and handed it to her. "You're the one who said you needed space. I'm giving it to you. Pack whatever you need. You can stay with whoever you want, but this conversation is over." She stood there holding the bag like she couldn't process what was happening. Instead of tears or anger or some dramatic fight that would end with us both promising to try harder, she got paperwork and a packed bag. "You're really going to let me walk out?" she asked. "I'm not letting you do anything. You're choosing to walk out. I'm just not going to stop you." She stared at me for a few more seconds, then grabbed some clothes from the dresser, stuffed them into the bag, and headed for the door. She stopped in the doorway and turned back. "Maybe I just need some time to think." "Take all the time you need," I said. "But while you're thinking, I'll be moving forward. So don't expect me to be here when you decide you're done exploring." She left. The door closed. The house went quiet. I sat down on the edge of the bed and looked at the divorce papers still sitting there. 3 years gone in one conversation. But honestly, I felt more relieved than anything else. I wasn't about to spend the next 6 months wondering if she'd come back or if she actually meant it. She wanted freedom. She got it. Permanently. I picked up my phone and texted my lawyer. "She's out. Let's move forward with the filing. She moved in with her friend Melissa the next day. I knew because Melissa's boyfriend texted me asking what happened. I kept it short, told him she wanted to explore other options, and I wasn't going to stop her. He didn't reply after that. The first week was quiet. Too quiet. I half expected her to show up crying, saying she'd made a mistake. That never happened. Instead, I got text messages, little tests to see if I was breaking. Just wanted to check on you. Hope you're doing okay. We should talk soon. I left them all on read. My lawyer filed the papers on day 5. She got served at Melissa's place. According to Melissa's boyfriend, she spent 2 hours on the phone with her mother afterward, probably expecting someone to tell her I'd come crawling back. I didn't. Instead, I did something I should have done months ago. I called up my buddy Marcus. We used to hang out every weekend before I got married, but then she started complaining that I spent too much time with friends and not enough time with her. So I pulled back, stopped going to the bar on Fridays, stopped playing basketball on Sunday mornings, became the guy who checked his phone every 20 minutes to make sure she wasn't upset about something. "Man, where have you been?" Marcus asked when I called. "Busy being married." Not anymore, though. She left, said she needed to find herself or whatever. I handed her divorce papers. He laughed, not meanly, but with genuine surprise. "You actually did it. Most guys would be sobbing into their beer right now." I'm not most guys. Clearly. So what now? Now I'm going to the gym, and then I'm coming to the bar Friday night. And I'm not checking my phone every 5 minutes. Friday came. I showed up at O'Malley's, the same place we used to go before I stopped having a life outside my marriage. Marcus was already there with a couple other guys from the shop. They all looked at me like I'd come back from the dead. "There he is," Marcus said, sliding a beer across the bar. "The free man." I took it. Felt good to be there again. No guilt, no texts asking when I'd be home, no manufactured arguments about how I didn't prioritize her. We talked, laughed, watched the game. It felt normal. Better than normal. Around 10, my phone buzzed. I glanced at it out of habit. A message from her. "Saw you're out. Good for you, I guess." Marcus saw it. "She's checking up on you. Probably thought you'd be home crying. Let her think whatever she wants." I pocketed the phone and didn't look at it again that night. The next week, I started going back to the gym. I'd let that slip too. She used to complain that I spent too much time there and said it was vain, said I was prioritizing muscles over our relationship. So I cut back, gained 15 pounds, started feeling terrible. First day back, I ran into Jessica. She worked the front desk and also did some administrative work at the shop where I was a mechanic. We'd talked a few times, nothing serious, just friendly. "Haven't seen you in forever," she said when I scanned my membership card. "Yeah, took a break. Bad idea." "Well, welcome back. You doing okay? Heard through the grapevine things got messy." Small town, everyone knows everything. "I'm doing fine. Better than fine, honestly." She smiled. "Good. That's the right attitude." Over the next few weeks, I kept running into Jessica. We'd talk between sets. She'd ask how my day was. I'd ask about hers. Nothing forced, just easy conversation with someone who didn't make everything complicated. Meanwhile, my ex was posting constantly on social media. Pictures at clubs, videos at parties, photos with guys I didn't recognize. She was making sure I saw it, making sure everyone saw it. Look at me, living my best life. Marcus sent me screenshots sometimes. "You seeing this?" "Yeah, good for her. Doesn't it bother you?" "Why would it? She wanted this. She's getting it." What bothered me was the messages from mutual friends, people who thought I should fight for my marriage, people who said I gave up too easily, people who didn't know she'd been checked out for months before she finally said it out loud. I stopped responding to those messages, too. 3 weeks in, I got promoted at work. Not huge, but enough. More responsibility, better pay. My boss pulled me aside after the announcement. "You've been doing solid work lately. Whatever's going on in your personal life, you're handling it right." I nodded, just focusing on what I can control. "That's smart. Keep it up." That Friday, Marcus convinced me to go to a different bar. Change of scenery. We walked in and there was Jessica with a couple of her friends. She waved us over. Small world, apparently. We ended up talking most of the night. She was funny, genuine. Didn't play games, didn't test me with weird questions or passive-aggressive comments. Just talked like a normal person who enjoyed being around other people. When the night ended, she gave me her number. "We should hang out sometime outside the gym." I'd like that. I drove home feeling lighter than I had in months. No drama, no second guessing. Just a normal conversation with someone who seemed interested in getting to know me without an agenda. My phone buzzed again. Another message from my ex. Can we please talk? I think we rushed into this. I didn't respond. There was nothing to talk about. She made her choice. I made mine. And honestly, mine was looking better every single day. 6 months later, my life looked completely different. I dropped the weight I'd gained, picked up a few certifications at work, and was making decent money with the promotion. The house was cleaner than it had been in years. Turns out, when you're not stressed all the time, you actually take care of things. Jessica and I had been seeing each other for about 4 months. Nothing rushed, no drama, just two people who enjoyed spending time together. She'd come over, we'd cook dinner, watch a movie, talk about our days. Simple stuff that somehow felt better than anything I'd had before. She never pushed, never asked where things were going, never created problems just to see how I'd react. It was refreshing, healthy, the kind of relationship I didn't know I was missing. Then one Tuesday night, my phone lit up with a message. We need to talk. Can I come by tomorrow? I showed it to Jessica. We were sitting on the couch watching some cooking show she liked. Your ex? She asked. Yeah. You going to respond? Probably should. Get it over with. I typed back. Tomorrow at 6. Make it quick. Jessica squeezed my hand. Want me to leave before she shows up? You don't have to. I know. But this is something you should handle on your own. I trust you. That was the difference. Trust without conditions. Support without strings attached. The next day at work dragged. I knew what was coming. She probably rehearsed some speech about how she'd made a mistake, how she'd grown, how we should try again. I'd heard variations of it in her texts over the past few weeks. Texts I'd mostly ignored. 6 o'clock came. I was home, changed out of my work clothes, made myself a sandwich. I wasn't going to treat this like some big event. She wanted to talk, fine. But I wasn't rolling out any red carpets. The doorbell rang at 6:15. I opened it. She looked different. Hair shorter, lost some weight, dressed nicer than she used to. She'd clearly put effort into this. Hi, she said. Come in. She walked into the living room and stopped, looked around. The place was spotless. New curtains, plants on the windowsill, a framed photo of me and Jessica at a baseball game sitting on the side table. She stared at that photo for a long moment. Place looks good, she finally said. Thanks. What did you want to talk about? She sat down on the couch. I stayed standing, arms crossed. I've been doing a lot of thinking these past few months, she started. About us. About what I said. About what I threw away. Here we go. I was confused. I didn't know what I wanted. I thought I needed freedom and space and all these experiences, but I was wrong. I didn't say anything. Just waited. I went out, I dated. I tried to find whatever it was I thought I was missing. And you know what I found? Nothing. Just a bunch of guys who didn't care about me, who just wanted one thing, who couldn't hold a conversation or remember my birthday or any of the things you used to do. Okay, I said. She looked up at me. I made a mistake, a huge mistake, and I'm ready now. Ready to commit. Ready to be the wife I should have been from the start. I walked over to the kitchen, grabbed a water bottle from the fridge, took a long drink, let the silence sit there for a minute. You done? I asked. What? With your speech. Are you done? She stood up. Did you hear what I just said? I'm telling you I want to try again. I want us back. I heard you, and my answer is no. Her face went pale. No. That's right, no. But I just explained everything. I told you I was wrong, that I'm ready now. I set the water bottle down. You're ready now, that's great. Good for you, but I'm not interested. You're not interested? We were married for 3 years. You're just going to throw that away? I didn't throw anything away. You did. 6 months ago when you told me I wasn't enough, when you said you needed to explore your options. Remember that conversation? She stepped closer. I was confused. I didn't mean it. You meant every word, and I believed you, so I moved on. Moved on? Is this about her? She pointed at the photo. Some random girl you barely know? Her name is Jessica, and she's not random. She's someone who knows what she wants. Someone who doesn't need 6 months of sleeping around to figure out if I'm worth her time. That's not fair. Fair? You want to talk about fair? You walked out. You posted pictures with other guys all over social media, making sure I saw them. You ignored every boundary we had and did whatever you wanted, and now you show up here 6 months later expecting me to just forget all that because you finally figured out the grass isn't greener. She was crying now. I love you. I made a mistake, but I love you. You love the idea of not being alone. You love the fact that I actually treated you right and you didn't appreciate it until it was gone. That's not love. That's regret. So, that's it? You're choosing her over me? I'm choosing myself over you. I'm choosing someone who respected me from day one. Someone who didn't need to lose me to realize my value. She wiped her eyes. Please. We can go to counseling. We can work through this. No, we can't. Because I don't want to. I'm happy now. Happier than I was the entire time we were together. And I'm not going to mess that up by going backwards. You're being cruel. I'm being honest. You wanted freedom. I gave it to you, permanently. The divorce was finalized last month. We're done. Legally, emotionally, every other way. She grabbed her purse. You're going to regret this. I really won't. She walked to the door, stopped, turned around one more time. She's not going to make you happy. She already does, every single day. Because she chose me from the start, not as a backup plan after everything else failed. She left. Door slammed, car started, pulled away. I sat back down on the couch and texted Jessica. It's done. She's gone. Want to come over? 3 minutes later. On my way, bringing pizza. I smiled. That was the difference right there. No drama, no games, just pizza and someone who actually wanted to be there. My phone buzzed an hour later. Another message from my ex. You're making a huge mistake. You'll see. I blocked the number. Didn't need that energy anymore. Jessica showed up with pizza and that smile she always had. We ate, we laughed. We didn't talk about my ex at all because, honestly, she didn't matter anymore. I'd found someone better, someone who knew what she wanted from day one. And I wasn't about to give that up for someone who only wanted me back because all her other options fell through. The blocked number didn't stop her, though. She just started calling from different phones, her mom's, Melissa's, random numbers I didn't recognize. I stopped answering calls unless they were saved in my contacts. Then she showed up at the shop. I was under a Chevy replacing brake pads when I heard her voice up front talking to Tony, the guy who ran the service desk. I just need to talk to him for 5 minutes. Ma'am, he's with a customer right now. I'll wait. I rolled out from under the car and walked to the front, still holding a wrench. She was standing there in jeans and a jacket, arms crossed, that determined look on her face. What are you doing here? I asked. You won't answer my calls. Because I blocked you. That's usually a pretty clear message. Tony looked between us, uncomfortable. You good, man? Yeah, give us a minute. He disappeared into the back office. Smart guy. I turned to her. You can't just show up at my job. You won't talk to me anywhere else. Because there's nothing to talk about. We're divorced. It's over. Move on. I can't just move on. We were together for 3 years. And you ended it, not me. You. She stepped closer, lowered her voice. I see her posts. The girl you're with, Jessica. She works here, right? That's none of your business. So it is her. You moved on pretty fast. 6 months isn't fast. And even if it was, I don't owe you an explanation. Did you even wait, or were you already seeing her before I left? I laughed, couldn't help it. Are you serious right now? You're the one who wanted to explore options. You're the one posting pictures with different guys every weekend. And now you're questioning my timeline? That was different. How? How was it different? She didn't have an answer for that. Just stood there looking frustrated. You need to leave, I said. I'm working and we're done having this conversation. I'm not giving up on us. There is no us. There's me, there's you. 2 separate people living 2 separate lives, that's it. I walked back to the car. She stood there for another minute, then finally left. Tony came back out. That your ex? Unfortunately. She seems intense. That's one word for it. The visits didn't stop. She started showing up at O'Malley's on Friday nights, just sitting at the bar, watching, not saying anything, just being there, making sure I saw her. Marcus noticed. She's here again. I see her. You want me to say something? No, she'll get bored eventually. But she didn't. The next week she was there again, and the week after that, always sitting where I could see her, always leaving right after I did. Then the messages started coming from fake social media accounts. Generic usernames, no profile pictures, but always the same content. Screenshots of Jessica's posts, comments about how I'd replaced her so easily, questions about whether Jessica knew the whole story. I showed Jessica. We were having dinner at her place, pasta she'd made from scratch because apparently she could do that. "She's losing it," Jessica said, scrolling through the messages. "Yeah. Does it bother you, the messages?" "No. The fact that she won't accept it's over. A little." Jessica set her phone down. "You want me to talk to her?" "Absolutely not. That's exactly what she wants. Drama, confrontation, some big scene where you two fight over me like I'm a prize. I'm not doing that." "So what do we do?" "We ignore her. Keep living our lives. She'll run out of energy eventually." I was wrong. 2 weeks later, I came out of the gym and found her sitting on the hood of my truck, just sitting there, waiting. "You've got to be kidding me," I said. "We need to talk." "No, we don't. Get off my truck." "Not until you hear me out." I pulled out my phone. "I'm calling the cops." She slid off the hood. "Fine, but you can't avoid me forever. Watch me." I got in the truck. She stood in front of it, arms spread, blocking me in. "Move," I said through the windshield. "Not until you listen." People were starting to stare. This was getting ridiculous. I got out of the truck. "You want to talk? Fine, here it is. You made a choice. I accepted it. I moved on. You don't get to change your mind 6 months later and expect me to drop everything. That's not how life works. Now move before I have you removed." "You don't mean that." "I absolutely mean that. Every word." A gym employee came outside, young kid, maybe 20. "Everything okay out here?" "She's leaving," I said. She looked at the kid, then back at me, finally stepped aside. I got back in the truck and drove off. That night, I talked to a lawyer about a restraining order. He said I'd need more documentation, a pattern of maltreatment. So I started keeping records, screenshots, dates, times, locations. 3 days later, she showed up at Jessica's apartment. I wasn't even there. Jessica called me from work. "Your ex just knocked on my door." "What? How does she even know where you live?" "I don't know, but she was here. Asked if we could talk woman to woman." "What did you say?" "I told her no and shut the door, but this is getting weird." "I know, I'm working on it." I went back to the lawyer with everything I had. He filed for a temporary restraining order. It got approved 3 days later. She had to stay at least 500 feet away from me, my home, my work, and Jessica. She violated it twice in the first week. Showed up at O'Malley's, showed up at the shop. Both times I called the cops. Both times they gave her warnings. The third time they arrested her. She spent 6 hours in holding before her mom bailed her out. After that, the physical appearances stopped, but the messages continued. From new accounts, new numbers, always the same theme. I was making a mistake. I'd regret this. She was the best thing that ever happened to me. I saved every single one, sent them to my lawyer. "She's digging her own grave," he said. "Good," I replied. "Maybe then she'll finally stay in it." Jessica and I went out for dinner that Friday, a nice place downtown. No drama, no ex-wife stalking us from across the room. Just a normal meal with someone who made me laugh. "You think she'll ever stop?" Jessica asked over dessert. "Eventually, when she realizes I'm serious, that I'm not coming back no matter what she does. And if she doesn't, then she keeps embarrassing herself while we keep living our lives. Either way, we win." Jessica smiled, reached across the table, took my hand. "I'm glad you didn't give up on relationships after what she put you through." "I didn't give up on relationships. I just gave up on her. Big difference." We finished dinner, drove back to my place. No messages waiting, no cars parked outside watching. Just peace. For the first time in months, it felt like maybe this was actually ending. My 30th birthday fell on a Saturday. The guys at the shop wanted to throw something together, nothing fancy, just a barbecue at Marcus's place. Burgers, beer, decent weather for once. "Keep it small," I told Marcus. "Just the usual crowd." "Already on it. Maybe 15 people, tops." Jessica offered to help set up. She'd met most of my friends by now, and they liked her. More importantly, she fit in without trying too hard. No fake laughs, no performing, just herself. Saturday came. We showed up around 2. Marcus's backyard was already packed, music playing, grill smoking, people scattered around talking and drinking. "The man of the hour," Marcus announced when he saw me. Everyone cheered, handed me a beer, clapped me on the back. It felt good. Genuine. These were people who'd been around before my marriage fell apart and stuck around after. Jessica squeezed my hand. "I'm going to help with the food. Go catch up." I made my rounds, talked to Tony from the shop, caught up with a couple guys I went to high school with. Everyone asked how I was doing, really doing, not the surface level stuff. Better than I've been in years, I told them, and I meant it. Around 4, Marcus nudged me. Don't look now, but we've got a problem. I looked. Of course I looked. She was standing at the side gate, my ex, wearing a sundress and sunglasses like she'd been invited. You've got to be kidding me, I said. Want me to handle it? Marcus asked. No, I got it. I walked over. She saw me coming and smiled. Actually smiled. Hey, I heard there was a party. How did you even know about this? I still follow some of your friends on social media, saw the posts, and you thought it was appropriate to show up? I wanted to wish you happy birthday. There's a restraining order. You're not supposed to be anywhere near me. She looked around. We're outside. There's witnesses. I'm just saying happy birthday. That's not maltreatment. It absolutely is. You need to leave. I will, after I talk to you for 1 minute. People were starting to notice, conversations dropping off, eyes turning toward us. You're making a scene, I said quietly. Good. Maybe people should know what you did. What I did? How fast you replaced me. How you didn't even try to work things out. I laughed. Couldn't help it. You're unbelievable, you know that? You moved on so fast, like I meant nothing to you. You meant everything to me until you told me I wasn't enough. Remember that? Or are we just rewriting history now? Jessica appeared next to me, calm, collected. Is there a problem? My ex looked at her up and down, judging. So you're the replacement? I'm his girlfriend, and you need to leave. I'm not talking to you. Well, I'm talking to you. He's asked you to leave multiple times, so either you walk out on your own or someone calls the cops. Your choice. My ex turned back to me. You're really going to let her talk to me like that? She's right. You need to go. Not until everyone here knows the truth. She raised her voice, made sure everyone could hear. He gave up on our marriage after 3 years. Didn't even try counseling. Just handed me divorce papers and moved on to her like I never existed. The backyard went silent, everyone staring now. Marcus stepped forward. All right, that's enough. No, I said. Let her finish. Let everyone hear her version. My ex looked surprised. She wasn't expecting that. Go ahead, I continued. Tell them how you came home one night and said you were too young to be tied down. Tell them how you said you needed to explore your options. Tell them how you spent 6 months posting pictures with different guys, making sure I saw every single one. Her face went red. Tell them how I gave you exactly what you asked for. Freedom, space, a divorce, and how you only came back after you realized nobody else wanted to deal with your drama. That's not what happened, she said weakly. That's exactly what happened. And everyone here knows it because I've been honest about it from day one. I didn't badmouth you, didn't trash you to our friends, just told the truth when people asked. I looked around at everyone watching. She told me I wasn't enough. I believed her. I moved on. Now she can't handle the fact that I'm actually happy, so she shows up at my job, at the gym, at the bar, anywhere she thinks she'll find me. She violates a restraining order, gets arrested, and still won't accept that it's over. I turned back to her. You wanted freedom. You got it. You wanted to see what else was out there. You did. And apparently, what was out there wasn't as good as what you had. But that's not my problem anymore. You made your choice. Live with it. She was crying now, mascara running, hands shaking. I made a mistake, she said quietly. Yeah, you did. A big one. And you don't get to undo it just because you regret it. Marcus's girlfriend appeared with her phone. Should I call the police? Please, I said. My ex looked around, everyone staring at her, judging her. She'd wanted a scene. She got one, just not the one she planned. You're going to regret this, she said to me. No, I really won't, but you will, every single day, because you threw away someone who actually loved you for a fantasy that didn't exist. She turned and walked out fast, nearly running. Car door slammed, engine started, gone. The backyard stayed quiet for a few seconds. Then Marcus started clapping, slow at first, then others joined in. About time someone put her in her place, Tony said. Jessica wrapped her arm around my waist. You okay? I'm fine. Better than fine. The party picked back up, music got louder, people went back to eating and drinking. Within 20 minutes, it was like nothing happened. But it did happen, and everyone there saw exactly who she was. Not the sufferer she tried to paint herself as, just someone who couldn't accept the consequences of her own choices. Later that night, back at my place, Jessica and I were sitting on the couch. "That was intense," she said. "Yeah. Think she'll finally leave you alone now?" "I hope so. But if she doesn't, at least everyone knows the truth now. No more pretending, no more playing innocent." Jessica leaned against me. "For what it's worth, I'm glad you stood your ground." "I'm glad you were there. Most people would have walked away from this mess." "I'm not most people." "No, you're not." My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I ignored it. Whoever it was could wait because right now, sitting here with someone who actually wanted to be here, I had everything I needed. And I wasn't about to let anyone ruin that. 3 weeks passed. Quiet weeks. No messages, no surprise visits, no drama. I almost forgot what that felt like. Then her parents called. I hadn't spoken to them since the divorce. They were good people. Her dad helped me fix my first car when we were dating. Her mom always made extra food at holidays, knowing I'd show up hungry from work. "We'd like to talk to you," her dad said on the phone. "About our daughter." "There's nothing to talk about." "Please, just give us 30 minutes. We'll come to you." I agreed, mostly out of respect for them, not for her. They showed up Sunday morning. Both of them. And her. Of course she came. I opened the door. "I agreed to talk to your parents, not you." "I know," she said quietly. "But they wanted me here." Her dad looked tired. "Can we come in?" I stepped aside. We sat in the living room, them on the couch, me in the chair across from them. She sat between her parents, hands folded in her lap, looking at the floor. "She told us everything," her mom started. "What she said to you, what she did, how she treated the marriage. We're not here to make excuses for her. We just want you to hear her out one last time." I looked at my ex. "You've got 5 minutes." She took a breath. "I know I messed up. I know I said terrible things and made terrible choices. I've spent every day of the past 6 months regretting it. I went to therapy. I've been working on myself, trying to understand why I sabotaged the best thing I ever had." "Good for you," I said. "But that doesn't change anything." "I know. But I needed you to know that. I understand now. I understand what I threw away, and if you'd give me another chance, I'd spend the rest of my life proving I've changed." I looked at her parents. They were watching me, hoping. "I'm going to be honest with you," I said, looking at her dad. "I loved your daughter. I really did. But the moment she told me I wasn't enough, something broke. Not my heart, my respect. Because someone who loves you doesn't ask for permission to see if they can do better." Her mom wiped her eyes. She didn't make a mistake. She made a choice. A calculated choice to see what else was out there while keeping me as a backup plan. And when nothing else worked out, she came back expecting me to be waiting. I looked at my ex. But I wasn't waiting. I was healing. I was moving forward. I was building a life with someone who knew from day one that I was enough. Someone who didn't need to lose me to appreciate me. "You're engaged to her, aren't you?" her mom asked quietly. I nodded. "Asked her last week." She said yes. My ex's face crumpled, started crying. Her mom put an arm around her. "I'm sorry," I said to her parents. "I know this isn't what you wanted to hear, but I can't go backwards. Not for anyone." Her dad stood up, extended his hand. "I understand. I don't like it, but I understand. You deserve to be happy." I shook his hand. Her mom stood too, hugged me. "Take care of yourself." "You too." My ex stood last, looked at me with red eyes. "I hope she makes you happy." "She does. Every single day. Because she chose me. Not as a second option, not after exploring other choices, just me. From the beginning." They left, all three of them. The door closed. The house went quiet again. I pulled out my phone, texted Jessica. "It's finally over, for good this time." She responded immediately. "Coming over. Bringing coffee." 20 minutes later, she walked in with 2 cups from the coffee shop she liked. We sat on the couch. She didn't ask questions, just sat there, present, supportive. "Her parents came by," I said eventually, and I told them the truth, that I'm engaged. That I'm not going back. That it's done. She smiled. "Good." "Yeah, good." My phone stayed silent the rest of the day. No calls, no texts, no last-ditch efforts, just peace. A week later, I saw her at Target. We crossed paths in the checkout line. She saw me, I saw her. We made eye contact for maybe 2 seconds. Then she looked away, paid for her items, and left. No confrontation, no tears, no scene. Just 2 strangers who used to know each other. And that's exactly what we were now. I went home to Jessica, to the life we were building, to someone who never made me question my worth. My ex wanted freedom to explore her options. She got it. And I got something better. Someone who knew what she wanted from day one. Me.